trillion swing. President Obama comes in, first year, he reduces the deficit, which is what contributes to national debt, by $700 billion.
Are stimulus checks going to be sent out immediately? Well, there has been new released information on $2,000 stimulus checks. The lawmakers are now negotiating on $100 stimulus payments. The gas prices are soaring nationwide, and AAA reports that the national average cost of a gallon of gas hit $5.16 as of June 14th. This is the all-time record high price, and since many people cannot eliminate gasoline usage or even significantly cut down their fuel costs, these surging prices have hit hard. As a result, lawmakers are naturally considering ways to provide relief, including potentially sending out another stimulus payment. Proposals to help the public cope with gas prices exist at the federal level as well as in some states. One plan put forth on the federal level, for example, is called the Gas Rebate Act of 2022. It would provide a monthly rebate during any month when the national average cost of gas is $4 or more. The rebate would last through the end of 2022 and would total $100 per adult and per dependent for single filers earning less than $75,000 or joint filers earning less than $150,000. It would phase out at higher income levels, with single filers getting no rebate once their income topped $80,000. And married joint filers losing the rebate with an income of $160,000 or higher. Now, state plans exist in certain locations because in early June, for example, North Carolina Democrats put forth a plan to send money to residents via check or debit card. The money would come in the form of a $200 rebate to North Carolina residents and would be available by October 1st to anyone who is 18 or over. Now, this is a bit different from the past stimulus checks that have come from the federal government because those were able to be deposited into people's bank accounts if they provided the information, and while these payments would come in the form of a debit card or check only. So the child tax credit in 2022 will return to conditions offered by the IRS before the American Rescue Plan expanded it. The amount of the credit is smaller, and eligibility is more restricted than last year. Under the rules which were established through the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. These changes will be in effect through the 2025 fiscal year if no action is taken by Congress to modify the credit before then. A big change to help many families last year was, instead of receiving monthly installments on the credit they did from July to December of 2021, the money will be distributed in the form of a single tax credit, which will reduce the size of the recipient's tax bill or increase their tax refund. Taxpayers with eligible children will be able to claim a credit worth up to $2,000 per child, and this year the credit is partially refundable and there is an earnings threshold. To be able to start claiming up to $1,400 portion known as the additional child tax credit. Taxpayers who owe less in taxes than the refundable amount will have it added to their tax refund. The non-refundable portion will reduce taxes owed dollar for dollar. The 2022 child tax credit is available to parents with dependents under the age of 17 at the end of the year. Retirees have seen their benefits stretched thin by the rapidly rising prices of food, gas, electric, and other necessities. Throughout the year, in fact, the Senior Citizens League estimates the average Social Security benefit has actually fallen short of what it can actually provide for. Fortunately, seniors are on pace to see a monster increase in 2023 for the COLA. Social Security beneficiaries are less than 2 weeks away from huge announcement. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics is scheduled to release its September inflation report on October. At that point, the SSI will have all the data it needs to calculate the COLA for next year. And the Senior Citizens League estimates that the 2023 COLA will clock in at around 8.7%. The Committee for Responsible Federal Budget says that the COLA for next year will probably be closer to 9%, maybe even 8.5%. In either case, that will represent the largest COLA in the last 4 decades. Regardless of where next year's COLA falls, there's nothing you need to do to receive it. If you're already receiving Social Security benefits or SSI, your payments will automatically increase starting in January. Social Security benefits, however, can go a long way in retirement. It is important to stay up to date with the latest changes to the program. Many older Americans say they are cutting back on basics like food and medicine in order to stay afloat, and according to surveys from the Senior Citizens League, the pinch is even more extreme for those who rely on Social Security as their sole source of income. Given that the average time at benefit everybody has actually increased to 5.9% this year for 2022 to around $1,700, it's failing to keep pace with annualized inflation that has topped 8%. And one Social Security and Medicare policy analyst at the Senior Citizen League told reporters, "I've been cautioning everybody about taking about improvements in buying power. Experts have also expressed concerns by the most recent uptick in gas prices, with costs at the pump rising nearly 10 cents a gallon. Now, heating and electric bills are also expected to jump this winter, with the average household paying about 17% more to heat their home properly. And now winter heating costs can reach a 10-year high of about $1,200 a home. That's very out of control. And according to new census data, which was released last year, the ranks of poor seniors swelled by almost 11 and almost a million, or an increase of a 0.4 percentage point, while child poverty and adult poverty was also unchanged. Even before the crisis, though, Social Security benefits fell short of covering essential costs across the nation. We all knew that. And according to research published in 2021, the typical benefit covered around 70% of the cost of living for a single senior renting their home and 81% for an older couple. It's a serious problem for millions of seniors who rely on Social Security as their major source of income. About 25% of seniors draw roughly other tax credits to pay for the expansion, including those for child health care cost. Both plans would offer parents the ability to receive the credit as a monthly payment. And Senator Marco Rubio's proposal would pay parents $3,600 for children 6 to 17 and $4,500 for children under 6, but it would not offer a monthly payment option. Vermont also took matters into their own hands after Congress failed to extend the expanded tax credits, and the Republican governor signed off on a $1,000 child tax credit for every child 5 and under. Families who claimed the credits would lose $20 for every $1,000 over the $125,000 they earn. Some states this year are focusing on older residents with tax reductions for retirement income, like Vermont, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. The Arkansas governor, a Republican, is also pledging to eliminate the state's individual income tax, although she said she will start with tax. And according to local news, Governor Polis, a Democrat, is pushing for $200 million in property tax relief this year. It comes after voters last fall approved a cut that reduced the state's flat income from 4.4 to, and even Idaho, which last year lowered its personal and corporate tax rate and created tax rebate of $300, wants to provide. March 31st is an upcoming deadline that all eligible Americans need to take in action in order to receive an extra relief check. And the dozens of states across the country are implementing new stimulus plans, and payments range from $500 to even $1,000. Even the eligible Americans are set to receive direct payments worth up to $1,000 starting next week and beyond. That's because dozens of cities and states across the country have implemented guaranteed basic income programs to support residents through times of inflation and economic uncertainty. But the governor could give up to $500 to people who are paying taxes on their tax returns this year. And it provides Georgia residents who filed their 2021 and 2022 tax returns a special income tax refund. The refund is thanks to a $1 billion surplus in the state's funds. The Department of Revenue will begin issuing payments in the next 6 to 8 weeks, and taxpayers must file their returns before they can even receive a refund. But the